Hello and welcome back. Sorry we didn't manage to achieve very much last time, but here we are again. Just as a quick reminder, we are starting to collect the gases in this caustic biome to use elsewhere, primarily for getting into a swamp biome, which actually has some very useful materials in, but is a bit dangerous. Especially, we are waiting to safely collect slime so we can start a mushroom farm, which we started preparing for here but haven't quite finished yet. As you can see, the pumps are working quite happily over here in order to keep this all going. The batteries aren't able to collect very much, which is a shame. So I think I'm going to wire in the main line from the coal generators as well, just in order to keep it all going. That will of course require a transformer. So we can just quickly put that in. That should help that situation out. You hear that running all the time with just this being used to top things up again a bit. And there you can still see there is still chlorine, so we're not ready to expand out into the next section yet, but it is getting quite thin. All to the good. Now down here, we were just waiting for some automation research to be finished. So let's quickly check the research to see if that's done yet. No, we are still working on more sensors. And then we're going to need advanced automation as well for some logic gates, so we're still waiting for that. We're still pumping out this section so we can use it for something more useful than just water. We have our ranch of hatchlings quite happily coming along, a little crowded, but not the end of the world. That slows things down a bit, but we're not overly relying on them quite yet, so that's not something to worry about at the moment. And this water reservoir is looking like it will still have plenty of room in it once all the other water has been moved in. We've got another area of water here we're going to have to do something with at some point, but that's going to be harder to move because it's above us. Well, harder in some ways, easier in others, because we can rely on gravity to a degree. In fact, just looking, oops, that's not a legitimate thing to be there anymore, so best get rid of it while we're here. That has to go on corners, so no, it's no longer a corner, it doesn't provide any benefit. So we put that right while we're waiting for everything else to happen. Research complete. We are getting there now. We can now sense what gas is present. So once we have our logic gates, we can start to do some more clever automation for some of our devices. Which will be none too soon. Down here, everything's pumping along quite happily. The coal generators are working. The smart battery is generally full. While we are waiting for things to happen, rather than have Dupe sit idle, I'm going to make this a little bigger. And note, we can learn new skills. Nisbet. We're getting to the point now we're going to need someone to wear suits, and as you'll see, both mechatronics needs better carrying before we can get there, which is something we want to get eventually, as does the suit wearing. So, though, as we start to learn more and more skills that don't fit morale, we're going to have more of a concern over here, and we're going to have to hope to get better food. By the time we get to that point, we will hopefully have our mushroom fab ready to go, which will help with that a little. I'm also going to put down a small storage bin here, so the dupes don't have too far to go to store this bleach stone, which we're going to be asking them to get very soon. In fact, the air pressure here is getting very low, so it is probably time to expand out a little bit. The air pressure is so low we should be at minimal risk of any escaping through the airlock, and allows us to collect this lovely bleach stone. I have to make sure there is no chance of anyone getting trapped in here, because otherwise these gases will kill them very quickly if they can't get back out to an oxygen atmosphere. Thankfully they're not having to travel very far, so they should be reasonably safe. And that's our research completed. Right. Printable, have a quick look. Take food. If all else fails, you can always use food. Oh, why is this person here? Can they? Hungry, soggy feet, low oxygen. They shouldn't be in any particular danger here. Just got stuck there for some reason. Let's make sure they're not stuck there, though I can't see why they would have been. No, all's good. So down here, now, into our automation. We want to do this, have this running when the carbon dioxide pressure is high. So we are checking for a gas element. In fact, I've not left enough space. This is going to have to go. Annoyingly, that's going to have to go, because I've not left quite enough space for the automation. So let's rebuild that. And so our automation is basically going to say, we need to check, do we have a particular gas present? We're also going to say, do we have a particular pressure? And we're caring about are both of these true? So we have an AND gate. All of that needs automation wire. As we know from before, the carbon skimmer needs water, so bring up our plumbing overlay briefly and relay the plumbing. While that is happening, we have to say what we're looking for. We're looking for carbon dioxide, and we currently have a pressure of, as you can see, 1700 grams of carbon dioxide. We're going to set that to about 500. So green signal if above 500 grams. So as long as we have at least 500 grams of pressure and it's carbon dioxide, this will function, though again it needs power, easily fixed. And that will start clearing out some of our carbon dioxide problems down here. That will help with all the carbon dioxide in the base, because carbon dioxide being a heavy gas will naturally sink down into this section. Though we don't want to get rid of all our carbon dioxide, because later on we are going to have a use for it. So this is one of our gas reservoirs. Currently holding, this is one of our chlorine reservoirs, getting fuller. And we have some, oh, I forgot to tell this to collect the bleach stone, which is a consumable ore, I believe. Yes, there we are. So we'll collect the bleach stone in that. Forgot we had a skill to buy as well. Ada. Oh, a better decorator. And a plumber. We haven't needed that yet, but when you need a plumber, you'll be very sad if you don't have one. Double check these while we're here. These reservoirs are not particularly full yet of polluted water, so we're still fine. All the water we take in, we are using. We don't yet have so much polluted water that those are starting to fill. We're not currently doing any research, so we should put that right rather than having idle dupes. Let's go for more art. Oh, circuit overloaded. Where is that? That is down here. Let's have a quick look what's going on here. Too much power being used. Okay, well, let's put that right. And we're going to do that by instead drawing our power from this transformer here. Bit of a faff, but should sort out that problem. And yes, another skill point earned. Ruby. Ruby, ruby, ruby. You can never have too many cooks. Things ticking along. It may be time to start. Now we have some chlorine. We have some bleach stone. Not a huge amount yet, but that will grow as we further explore the caustic biome. Though there's not a huge amount available in this one, unfortunately. A little bit there, which I will quickly grab. These little creatures, Drecos as well, I'm going to want before too long, so I'm going to create a new ranch for those soon. But for the moment, let's start looking at going into the swamp biome. The point of swamp biomes is the mushrooms and the slime. Looking for a good place to enter, which is probably over here. So let's carve out this little section of it. This is where we can enter above the swamp biome. We'll also, at some point, start collecting the fish, which uses another source of food. But that's not needed quite yet. Wait for the night to pass. Okay. Now we absolutely want an airlock here, because we do not want people going through this door unless they're actually needed in the swamp biome. Trying to keep infection of slime lung to an absolute minimum, because if they catch slime lung, that's fairly nasty. But while we are preparing that, the other thing I'm going to do is start preparing some medical packs, because they will help us with the slime lung should it happen. Now that's going to use up some of our bleach stone to make them, which is why one of the reasons we have to delay before we can go into swamp. We're also going to want in here hand sanitizers, and where is the other item we're going to need? It's annoying, I've lost it. Ah, no, okay. No, we do have the ore scrubber, that is researched. Where is it? Ah, it's a station, of course. Is it? ore scrubber. There we are. So 2 ore scrubbers, and we're going to want hand sanitizer. More hatchling eggs. We know how to get those over here. We have to use the storage unit. Right, these I'm going to set to only work when people are going left. The reason for these is slime has, as you can see, about 600,000 germs of slime lung in each bit. Each of the ore scrubbers will reduce that by about half. Yes, minus 480,000. So going through 2 will clean the slime lung, mostly. It'll never completely eradicate the potential for the disease. So we're not going to open that door quite yet. These also need chlorine to work. But that's alright, we've been collecting chlorine. So, gas pipe from our chlorine supplies over here. Has to go on a longer journey than I would really like, but we are getting to the point where we can start to look at actually doing something with this area. So, the point of this area is that it's where we're also going to where we store our slime. Because the mushrooms need the slime to fertilize them. But because people coming in here are going to therefore handle the slime, we want to put another hand sanitizer in here. Oops, I've made the room a little bit too small. Why this, you may be wondering? That's because the mushrooms need a carbon dioxide atmosphere, so we're going to pump it into here. Using the same system we've been using upstairs to move other gases. We only want the carbon dioxide. Bridged across the pipes. These, of course, both need power. Finally, outputs for both of those. Now, we can start to grow. We cannot quite start to grow mushrooms because, again, I've made the room slightly too small. Not to worry. We can fix that soon enough, and in the meantime, we'll turn that off because we don't want all that carbon dioxide quite yet, it turns out. I had a feeling I hadn't quite made the room big enough. It turns out that was true. Oh, food shortage. Look for some old hatches. 38, 9. Because that's a good source of quick food. So this to make the barbecue. That should fairly quickly sort out the food problem again. But let's build up a supply while we're concentrating on other things. Obviously now I've got room for another little trick. So when things are in water, they don't spread germs. Weird, but true. So we're going to get some water in here. we only want one little bottle of water. Will be enough, so that is hopefully on its way now. Perfect. Once that is fully emptied, that will be sufficient. Now we can destroy that again. Now we've got the water we wanted, and if I build the storage bin in that water, now once the slime is in here, it should never spread its germs anywhere else. And we have room for our fungus, for our mushrooms. So it means it's time to start collecting some slime. Ooh, weaselwort seed. That'll be useful later on for cooling. So we'll grab that. And skills, Jean. Let's make her a very good rancher. And we turn it on again. And I'm going to lock that so no one can go through it anymore. Now the only entrance through here, which should be clean, and then down the ladder. And we should now be able to start storing slime in here. There it is, organic. Now we don't want people faffing around with that. We want the slime ring here straight away. So we have the priority on that. Now see, in people come. They get the slime, they clean it in the scrubbers, wash their hands, not entirely sure why this dupe has this little pink thing going above his head. That may be from an update that I'm not familiar with yet. Zombie spores. I am not familiar with zombie spores. That may be new, but apparently he has it. So he might turn, apparently, into a zombie at some point. I'll have to do some research on that later. Meanwhile, we may as well have some research going on. Well, what to do? We've done most of our essential research now. Smart storage ready. No one can use it yet, but we may as well start working towards it ready. I'm surprised that we still haven't found any geysers. We're guaranteed to have some of them around, and usually there's some much closer to home than we've seen. So I haven't been able to show you how they work yet, unfortunately. So this section is now finished, so we can mop up what's left. And as we get more and more fungal spores, we can start to expand our mushroom farm. Once it's cleaned out, this will probably become our Draco farm. Let's have a quick look at Draco. Try and catch one. Draco, here we are. So domesticatable. They don't want it too hot or too cold. They eat mealwood. So we're actually going to use some of our mealwood seeds that we now have stored up from the other farm to feed them with. And they excrete phosphorus, which is not amazing, but yeah, it's useful for farming. What they can become is glossy Draco, who you especially want. Because, well, either way, because they can be groomed and sheared for fibre, in the case of the normal Draco, and plastic, in the case of the glossy ones. Plastic is a very advanced substance we won't get to making ourselves until much later in the game, so they become a very easy early source for that. That is, they both live on the same diet, you can keep them together. Which, as I say, is what I think I'm going to do here. Now, they only create the fibres to be sheared if they're in a hydrogen atmosphere. But luckily, we've been collecting hydrogen. And in fact, our chlorine reserves are getting low already, so time to expand this upwards a bit. And in fact, I'm going to set up another area for going to this course biome as well, again, just to collect the bleach stone and the chlorine. Unfortunately, we actually harvest some mushrooms. Because that will resolve a lot of our food problems very quickly. And we don't need to pump any more carbon dioxide out there for the moment. That's quite satisfactory as it is. And you see how the floor is keeping the two gases nice and separate because we're oxygen overlay, oxygen above, carbon dioxide below. In fact, as we have done before, I'm going to stick this switch in. To more easily control when we are bringing in this gas. Just getting everything's ready down here for our Treco ranch. We already have the research we need. Skills, as you can see, are coming thick and fast at this point. Skip all of them. No one particularly helpful right now. I'm going to change the design of this room slightly to what I had initially planned, as I've remembered an issue. Make it nice and big, because we need to have two different gases in here. Mealwood can grow quite happily in carbon dioxide, polluted oxygen, or oxygen. As we already discussed though, Drecos want to live in hydrogen in order to get the benefit of sharing them. Fun times. Come back to that in a moment, just get things set up down here ready. But that is where we're going to have to leave it for now. We've made some progress. We've got our mushroom farm underway, which is great. We've started to explore this pond biome, and you've seen why we care so much about the materials in the caustic biome. See you next time.